The 1920s are famously known in American history as the Roaring Twenties. It was a time of rapid industrial growth, technological innovation, and cultural transformation. Cars, radios, movies, and jazz music made life more vibrant. The stock market soared, and many Americans began to believe that economic prosperity was eternal. But just a decade later, in 1929, this dream of prosperity turned into the nightmare of the Great Depression. The stock market crashed, banks collapsed, millions lost their jobs, and poverty spread like wildfire, not only in America but around the world. Today, as we navigate through the world of high tech, cryptocurrencies, and speculative finance, this history serves as a powerful warning. Are we heading toward another artificial boom? Are we repeating the same mistakes of the 1920s? This story invites us to learn from history, understand its lessons, and take meaningful steps toward building a more fair, resilient, and stable economy. For America, the 1920s were a golden age. Following World War I, the nation surged into an era of innovation and optimism. New technologies like automobiles, radios, and electric power revolutionized daily life. Factories ran day and night, and production soared. Confidence ran high, banks were giving out easy loans, and investing in the stock market became a national trend. People bought homes, cars, and luxury goods on credit. Phrases like prosperity is here to stay were widely accepted. This era also marked the rise of consumer culture, where identity became tied to consumption and lifestyle. Jazz, cinema, and fashion gave youth a sense of liberation. Everything pointed toward a bright future. But beneath this glamour lay troubling signs: mounting debt, speculative investments, and growing inequality. Farmers and laborers were being left behind. The dream of endless prosperity was about to collapse. While the 1920s were hailed as an age of growth, the foundations were weak and unsustainable. A major issue was the unchecked rise in consumer credit. People were buying goods they couldn't afford with money they didn't have. The stock market was also fueled by borrowed money. The economy had become a balloon, inflated by speculation and hope rather than real value. The agricultural sector in particular was suffering. Farmers had overproduced during the war, but prices fell drastically afterward. Many sank into debt. Industrial owners suppressed wages to maximize profits, which weakened consumer purchasing power. Economic inequality worsened. The rich got richer while the working and middle classes saw little benefit. This imbalance grew dangerous, but few in power took notice. This fragile system, built on illusions and risky behaviors, was heading straight for disaster. That disaster struck in 1929. October 1929 wasn't just a financial hiccup, it was an explosion that rocked the global economy. Known as Black Tuesday, this day witnessed the collapse of the US stock market, wiping out billions in wealth in hours. Rampant speculation and excessive borrowing had inflated stock prices far beyond their real value. When confidence crumbled, investors rushed to sell, triggering a massive fall. The banking system also crumbled. Thousands of banks failed. As panicked customers withdrew their savings, investment dried up, consumer confidence vanished, and unemployment skyrocketed. Factories shut down, farms went bankrupt, families were left destitute. The economic shock waves weren't confined to America. Global trade suffered, and countries worldwide were thrown into chaos. The Great Depression was a harsh lesson in how reckless economic behavior and inequality can destroy even the most powerful economies. After the crash, President Herbert Hoover initially downplayed the crisis, favoring minimal government intervention. But as unemployment soared and despair spread, it became clear that traditional methods were failing. In 1932, Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected on a promise of a New Deal. He believed that the government must take active steps to support its people and revive the economy. The New Deal was a wide ranging reform program that introduced bank regulations, social security, public works projects, and labor protections. These policies provided jobs, restored faith in the system, and restructured the American economy. Though it didn't solve all problems overnight, the New Deal transformed the government's role. No longer a passive legislator, it became a protector of public welfare. The Roaring Twenties and the crash that followed hold crucial lessons for today. Unsustainable growth, speculation without regulation, and ignoring inequality can be a recipe for disaster. Today's world is full of innovation, from tech startups to cryptocurrencies, but these advancements come with risks. Without transparency, regulation, and social responsibility, even the strongest economies can falter. The New Deal teaches us the value of proactive governance and long term planning. We need policies that not only benefit corporations but also protect ordinary people. As we face growing inequality and uncertain markets, learning from history is not optional, it's essential. The story of America's journey from the glittering highs of the Roaring Twenties to the devastating lows of the Great Depression is more than just a historical timeline. It's a powerful reminder of how fragile prosperity can be when it's built on unsound foundations. Behind the glamour, jazz, and consumer excitement of the 1920s lay deep cracks. Economic inequality, speculative finance, over reliance on credit, and the absence of meaningful regulation. When the crash came in 1929, it wasn't just the markets that collapsed, it was an entire system of belief that wealth would endlessly grow without consequence. Yet history didn't end in despair. The response to the Great Depression, particularly through Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal, marked a turning point. Government intervention created jobs, restructured the economy, and protected vulnerable citizens. It demonstrated that with vision and bold action, even the greatest economic disasters can be met with resilience and reform. This chapter of history offers us not only warnings, but also a blueprint for renewal. Today, we find ourselves at another critical junction. Rapid technological change, soaring stock markets, digital currencies, and rising inequality echo many aspects of the 1920s. While innovation fuels progress, it can also breed instability when not accompanied by accountability. Once again, debt levels are high, speculation is rampant, and the gap between the wealthy and the working class continues to widen. So, what do? We honor the past by learning from it, not just through remembrance, but through action. That means advocating for fair economic policies, supporting financial transparency, investing in education and infrastructure, and ensuring that innovation serves all, not just the few. To prepare for the future, we must focus on sustainability, economically, socially, and environmentally. We must resist the temptation of short term gains at the expense of long term stability. Most importantly, we must recognize that true prosperity is not measured by stock prices or GDP alone, but by the well being, dignity, and security of everyday people. If we carry these lessons forward, the hardships of the past will not have been in vain. Instead, they will light the path toward a more just, balanced, and resilient future for all. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from us. Thanks for watching.